Hello everyone, a very pleasant day to you. Senate confirms 3 non-career ambassador nominees. House Committee summons Benin, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, discuss over 100 billion naira debt. A Nigerian police resume enforcement of tinted glass permits nationwide January 2. A very good day to you and welcome to First Next News Port Harcourt. I am Becky Usoro. Now the news in detail. The Senate has confirmed the nominations of 3 non-career ambassadors, the first set of nominees submitted by President Tinubu 2 weeks ago and screened by the upper chamber last week. Those confirmed are Lateef Kayode, Kola Wole, and from Ogun State, Aminu Mohammed Dalhatu from Jigawa State, and Emmanuel Ayodele Oke, CFR from Oyo State. The confirmations follow the consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, which conducted the screening exercise. 64 other ambassador nominees forwarded to the Senate and screened are yet to be confirmed. President Tinubu forwarded the names of the 3 non-career ambassador nominees to the Senate for confirmation on November 26. Moving on, in another development, the Senate has directed the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, to investigate widespread rumors on social media alleging the collapse and, in some cases, death of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. The resolution followed a point of order raised under Order 42 by Senator Titus Zam, who expressed concern over the reports that he had circulated within the last 48 hours. Senator Zam described the rumors as alarming and unacceptable, noting that the Senate President is a nation's number 3 citizen and should not be subjected to such misinformation. Responding to the matter, the Senate President acknowledged the difficulty of controlling social media narratives, stating that people cannot be prevented from writing what he described as garbage in, garbage out. He, however, asked whether it was the wish of the Senate that the issue be referred to the National Security Advisor for investigation. The proposal was subsequently put to a voice vote and adopted by the upper chamber, resolving that the National Security Advisor investigate the source and intent of the rumors surrounding the alleged collapse of the Senate President. The Senate has asked the federal government to introduce urgent measures to protect Nigerian farmers from the impact of falling agricultural produce prices and rising production costs. This was part of resolutions during plenary following a motion sponsored by Senator Danjuma Goje, highlighting the growing challenges facing local farmers amid recent government policies aimed at reducing food prices nationwide. Goje commended the federal government for easing the burden on consumers through waivers and special approvals for large-scale food imports, a move that has helped lower food prices and provided relief to many Nigerians. He, however, noted that the same policy has inadvertently created severe difficulties for local farmers. According to the motion, while farm gate prices for agricultural produce have continued to decline, the cost of critical inputs such as fertilizers, pesticides, and insecticides remain extremely high. The Senate therefore asks the federal government to design and implement a special emergency intervention package aimed at cushioning farmers affected by the collapse in farm gate prices. Moving on, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has summoned the management of Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, Benin Electricity Distribution Company, BEDC, and Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHEDC, over outstanding debts estimated at more than 100 billion naira owed to the Federation accounts. The committee, chaired by Honorable Bamidele Salam, issued the directive discovering that the affected discourse has failed to honor several previous invitations. His resolution followed consideration of an interim report presented by the chairman of the subcommittee, Honorable Mark Chidi Obeta, at a public hearing on Monday in Abuja. The committee gave the three electricity distribution companies discos a 72-hour ultimatum to appear before it or face sanctions for legislative contempt. The committee had in August 20, 2025 summoned 11 electricity distribution companies over a cumulative debt of 2.6 trillion naira owed to the Federation account. Moving on, a former Chief Justice of Nigeria CJN, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, retired, has died at the age of 71. Justice Muhammad reported passed away at a hospital in Saudi Arabia about 2 weeks before his 72nd birthday, which would have fallen on 31 of December. His death was confirmed in Abuja by the Nigerian Association of Muslim Law Students, NAMLAS. In a condolence statement, NAMLAS described the late jurist as a towering figure of integrity, humility, and unwavering commitment to justice, noting that throughout his judicial career, he exemplified fairness, courage, and fidelity to the rule of law. The association said that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Muhammad, discharged his responsibilities with wisdom and restraint, leaving behind a legacy that would continue to guide generations of legal practitioners. The association extended its condolences to the family of the deceased, the Nigerian judiciary, the federal government, and the Muslim Ummah, while praying for the repose of his soul. Moving on, we now move on to education sector. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFON, has formally inaugurated and inducted its Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, ACTU, marking a major step in strengthening transparency, accountability, and ethical governance across the fund's operations. The Managing Director and Chief Executive, Akintunde Sayo, in his opening and welcome address, reaffirmed management's commitment to integrity-driven systems, strong internal controls, and zero tolerance for corrupt practices in discharge of NELFON's mandates. The ceremony was attended by the Executive Director Operations, Mustafa Iyal, Directors, Head of Units, and staff from relevant supporting departments. Delivering a goodwill message, Chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, commended NELFON's management and staff for the successful establishment of the ACTU. He described the unit as a vital internal mechanism for identifying systematic gaps, promoting ethical standards, and enhancing compliance across ministries, departments, and agencies. We now move on to security matters. The Nigerian Police Force has announced the resumption of enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy, citing rising security concerns and the need to enhance public safety across the country. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyi, the police clarified that the decision follows a careful assessment of prevailing security challenges and is intended to curb the misuse of vehicles fitted with unauthorized tinted glass. Hundeyi explained that at no time did any court restrain the Nigerian police force from enforcing the relevant laws regulating the use of tinted glass on vehicles. He noted, however, that enforcement was previously suspended in the interest of transparency, public convenience, and responsibility to allow motorists sufficient time to regularize their documentation and complete the required registration process without undue pressure. According to the statement, recent developments have shown a troubling increase in criminal activities facilitated by vehicles with unauthorized tinted glass. Criminals and organized groups, the police said, have exploited this loophole to conceal their identities while committing offenses such as armed robbery, kidnapping, and other violent crimes. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has strongly condemned the planned resumption of enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy by the Nigerian Police Force, describing it as a grave affront to the majesty of the court and a clear subversion of the rule of law. A statement by its president, Mazi Afam Osigwe, the NBA reacted to an announcement by the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyi. indicating that enforcement of the suspended policy would resume from January to 2026. According to the NBA, the police announcement once again confirmed the sad reality that the Nigerian police force continues to exhibit a troubling disregard for the rule of law and the due process it is constitutionally mandated to uphold. The association recalled that the tinted glass permit policy was introduced by the Inspector General Police in April 2025, requiring motorists to obtain permits annually through an online platform, with enforcement initially slated for June 1 and later postponed to October 2. It noted that reports of harassment, extortion, and civil rights violations, particularly against young people, became widespread. Moving on, the Labour Party, LP, has said it will contest all the elected positions in Ogun State in the 2027 general election. National Vice Chairman Southwest of the party, Comrade Abayomi Arabami, stated this while addressing party members and supporters at the swearing-in of new Ogun State executive of the party. The event, held at the main hall of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Iwe-Oroyin Okeliwo Abeokuta, was attended by party representatives from the 18 local government areas of the state. Arabambi said the LP would contest the governorship 3 senatorial, 9 House of Representative election in the state. He said the party will support the All Progressive Congress APC candidate Bola Tinubu for the presidential election. Arabambi said the LP was set to win the governorship of Ogun State in 2027, slammed the incumbent administration of Governor Dapo Abiodun for non-satisfactory performance. The leadership of the Accord Party under Professor Chris Imu-Molen has responded to a recent Punch report titled INEC Disowns Factional Accord Party Governorship Primary in Osun. While respecting the role of the media and the statutory responsibilities of INEC, the party says it is important to set the record straight. Firstly, the party complied fully with the law, submitting the required notification of its governorship primary to INEC headquarters as mandated by the Electoral Act. The submission was acknowledged and evidence remains on record, adding that any internal lapse within INEC in processing or circulating the notification cannot be attributed to the party. Secondly, Accord Party raises concern over INEC's selective compliance with court orders. To date, INEC has not fully implemented these judgments, a situation that calls into question impartiality and institutional fairness. The leadership dispute within Accord Party is already before the courts, with a hearing scheduled for 8 January to determine the rightful leadership. Moving on to the foreign scene, Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) has been trying to cover up mass killings in the city of El Fasher by burying and burning bodies. The RSF has drawn international condemnation amid reports of executions and crimes against humanity when its fighters captured the city in October. Analysis of satellite images by Yale's Humanitarian Research Lab, HRL, shows the RSF likely disposed of tens of thousands of bodies after seizing El Fasher. The RSF has not responded to the reports, but its leader previously admitted his fighters had committed some violations in the city. The HRL's report said the RSF engaged in a systematic multi-week campaign to destroy evidence of its widespread mass killings, and this pattern of body disposal and destruction is ongoing. The paramilitary group has been fighting Sudan's regular army since April 2023, when a power struggle between the two parties erupted into a brutal civil war. Moving on, a couple killed in the Bondi Beach shooting tried to stop one of the alleged attackers by grabbing his gun, dramatic dashcam footage shows. Their family said in a statement Boris Goman, 69, and his wife Sophia, 61, courageously stepped in to try and protect others before being shot themselves. The incident shows Mr. Goman, who was retired, wrestling with one of the alleged gunmen and taking the weapon of him before they both fell onto the road. Mr. Gorman then gets up and appears to hit the suspected attacker with the gun. The attacker is then tossed to have got another gun which he used to kill them. That's all on the news this hour. I am Becky Usar. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.